Hello, everyone. Welcome to Business in the City. Today, we go to one of my favorite cities. It's Hong Kong, where we're going to meet someone very special to me. Her name is Yvonne Ma. She's an award-winning marketing agency founder who was born there. And she's now taking Paris, London, and she already took, I think, Hawaii and San Francisco, even more. She will tell us more about that later. And what I want to say, Yvonne, is welcome to you, honestly, from the heart, because I will always remember when I came to Hong Kong in 2013, you were one of the very first person to welcome me, to, meet me and actually help me to, get the signs you need when you need to set up a company over there. It's quite formal. You need to be supported. You need to have people behind you. And without knowing me very well, you actually helped me, and I will never forget that. And can you believe it's been 10 years and we're still in touch? We actually became friends. We actually made business together, and it's fantastic. Like it's like a lesson, they're going to people, reaching out to new people, and sometimes you can be very well surprised. So first of all, thank you for that. Thank you for being on the podcast. And I would like you to say a little word about yourself, introduce yourself briefly, and let's talk about you.
I'm Yvonne from 8020. We are a destination and a marketing agency in Hong Kong and China. Recently, we expanded to Guangzhou and Beijing, Shanghai. So I met Emily 10 years ago, and through a very special occasion. And we just met last year again in Paris when I was there. And then I'm so happy to come to her podcast today.
I like the name of your company. It's 80/20, and to me, it's a rule that, so important to me. Can you just say a little bit about why you chosen this title for your company? Why you chosen this name for this company?
Yeah. So for marketing, right? We are that basically anything about marketing, be it branding, be it PR, digital marketing, advertising, right? A lot of time I think that marketer easily get lost of where to find the core elements to amplify the result, right? So I always believe in the 80/20 rule, the Pareto rule, how you focus on the 20% elements, core elements to create 80% of results. So this is I would say the DNA of my company, that how to do less yet create more.
And something I will always remember about you, when we actually used to meet each other in Hong Kong while we were making businesses on our side, and it was seeing you running everywhere in the city all the time. And I will always remember that. Like, I remember you were at the beginning of your story as well. And it's like this beginning we all live, in our businesses. It's like so strong, and it's not always easy. And I'd like you to explain us what made you the shift between corporate world to the entrepreneur world. Why did you become an entrepreneur? And how was the beginning of this story for you?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Since I was small, I'm already quite a bossy girl, I would say that, be it in my family or at work at the very beginning stage, because I hold some values really tight, especially be nice to people of at different levels, and also be honest and also be fair. So sometimes, especially when you were young and you don't have many experience, right? So you receive some kind of unfair treatment, right? For this kind of thing, I can't really stand. And I always hold it really tight of this kind of values. So when I after I gain a few years experience, I start asking myself, I want to be an entrepreneur one day, but I know it wasn't time because I was too young. I didn't have enough experience yet. And then, but when I work as a full time, I don't really work with employee mindset. I think how I can climb the ladder so fast within the corporate life is because I always used to think from a entrepreneur point of view, why my boss want me to do something like this, why they want me to do this contract and such. I always think like one step ahead. And then at that time, whatever company I work at, I easily get promoted and become the right hand of the big boss. Finally coming to the stage at my 29 years old, I was working as the head of marketing at Subway, Subway, the US sandwich brand. And then I was helping Subway to become the first brand in Hong Kong adopting the Apple mobile wallet. At that time, Apple mobile wallet just newly launched in the iPhone, I think iPhone number 5. So not many people using it. So I was like, why don't I give a try, right? At that time, a lot of Hong Kong brands were very reluctant because, especially big brands, they usually tend to be, very conservative. They want to see other big brands using certain technology products and make sure they have successful case before they jump into it, right? So I try to help Subway to get into the Apple mobile wallet and launching different vouchers, and which create really good response. So, and even global media coverage with really small amount of budget. So at that time, not even my boss and even the technology partner also said that, oh, Yvonne, why don't you think about, being a marketing consultant, to help more technology brands to get more clients. I was quite hesitant at that time because I wasn't sure. I wasn't ready to become an entrepreneur or freelancer at only age 29. So it's quite funny. I declined, and then I was looking for the next step. So I applied for jobs and such like this. But I was thinking I want to work at a global company, yet I can have more decision making, power. Yet I can also help to draw the strategy and execution and such. So not many, I would say, not many brands have this kind of role, because especially you can imagine international brands, they have a lot of levels, and I was only 29. It's very hard to suddenly jump to a director roles, right? So when I see a job website, they have this hotels.com, and they are going to start to expand to Hong Kong, and they are looking for a general manager role. So I apply for it, and quite luckily I get to the final round. And then the final round, I didn't know who was my competitor. It was a very nice interview with the general manager in Australia. And then and they said, oh, we'll make the decision next week. Unluckily, the headhunter come back to me, oh, Yvonne, you didn't get the role at the end. And I asked why. I fail. I want to know the reason, how I can improve, right? And then she said, oh, because the other candidate is like 4 years more senior than you and have more experience. So I was like, okay. But and then there were not many job offers similar to hotels.com, just like a startup in Hong Kong looking for someone to, being the pioneer. And then the technology partner asked me again, would you like to, if you become a freelancer or marketing consultant, will be your first 2 clients. So this sentence really helped me because, a lot of consultants sometimes, right, before they start as an entrepreneur, they worry that if they have enough clients, right? So to be honest, I have quite a safety net at that time because of my past working experience and build a lot of trust and credibility that attract the clients. My previous partners become my clients right away, even before I start. So that's how I started as I would say a marketing consultant first. So I was like so I just be responsible to myself and be responsible to my clients. I didn't have a team at that time. But of course, if you ask me the difficult challenge to overcome in the first 6 months of being a marketing consultant, I would say that is being very disciplined, it's really difficult to be disciplined. I remember the first 6 months, I always slept too late because I didn't need to go to my client's office. I only need to, work at home. So I think being disciplined is a really challenge to me in the first 6 months. And also, sometimes because, when you work as an entrepreneur, financial instability, stability is also another concern. So I think these are the first year challenge to me as an entrepreneur. Yeah, that's how I transit from full-time to entrepreneur as well.
Okay, very interesting. And I know that you, like all entrepreneur, you add your ups and downs. And during COVID time, it wasn't that easy for you. And lately, I heard that you expanded a lot, and you ended up like having quite a few employees. And can you tell us about how you managed it? Having employees, having to, because our audience might not know it, but renting spaces in Hong Kong is quite a big thing because it costs very, very much for companies over there. So you need a space to actually run your business. You need a space to welcome your employees. Plus, you need to pay for your employees and etc. How do you handle the, as you said, this financial instability while still maintaining the everyday expenses? How do you manage this, like emotionally and everything?
I think I also, when I start out as an entrepreneur, I didn't, dream of having just a big company of 30 staff and what. I'm kind of person, I think I'm going more step by step, right? So first of all, I start out as an entrepreneur on my own for 2 years. And I start accumulating more client, and I really work on the numbers. To be honest, I'm more a creative person than a finance person. I'm really weak in numbers. But because I'm a sole entrepreneur, I have to force myself to learn about finance management because numbers is very important. No matter your expense, your income, your how to balance it is really I would say an art and a theory I'm still learning. So I started as a standalone entrepreneur for first 2 years, and then when I get more projects, I start hiring more staff, 1 to 2 first, and then I start with actually working at a co-working space in the third and fourth year, because co-working space is really minimal charge for per sitting, right? And I even sit in the open space. I don't even have an office in a co-working space. So after a few years working in a co-working space, I start also building out more bigger clients and more retainers. I think retainers is very important for entrepreneurship, because I used to look for exciting project, bigger amount, but when there are high and lows, especially the low time, you realize how important are those boring retainers are, because it actually really support your cash outflow every month. So once I learned the lesson, and then I get more retainer projects, I feel more confident. Then I start, renting a standalone office with 5 staff a few years ago. Yeah, why I need it, because my industry is more property developers and global governments. Sometimes they will visit my office. They are more traditional. They still want to see a proper office. So that's how I shift to a bigger office. And also have 6 staff in my office now. And why I'm thinking to expand to China is because you also know that Hong Kong, a lot of changes in recent years. And because I used to serve a lot of global brands, and I also understand a lot of global brands, they don't just look at one Hong Kong market, they look at more like a Greater China market. So I want to be more one step ahead to first fastly in expand to China market before the border opens after during COVID. And I also believe there are a lot of changes in the last few years. It takes a lot of time for the global brands to catch up with China. Even they were in China before, but last few years has changed a lot, no matter social media landscape and everything. So I believe that we can harness all these opportunities at the right time. Yeah.
That's great. So you're thinking of keeping expanding, huh? You are expanding quite a lot. That's why
Yeah,
you're coming to Paris next week, I heard.
yeah.
It's gonna be great.
Sometimes you need to do investment as well. To be
Yes.
honest, I don't have any clients in Paris yet. But I think that as an entrepreneur, when you know, sometimes you need to really take risks to, you know, start investment first before you get the income, you know. So this is I would say a bold move, because not only Paris, I'm also investing in having a booth at a World Travel Fair in London next week, to test the response, you know. Sometimes these are, for me, is small investment, but at least you test the response to see, oh, is the right move, if the next move I should expand to Europe or UK, you know. So yeah, these are my milestone map.
That's interesting. So number one, you invest in yourself, in your business, you
Mhm.
make efforts, and number two, you stay open to opportunities. And when
Yeah.
something is coming to you, just catch it and make the best of it. That's
Yeah.
very interesting. Could you please, Yvonne, give us a little tip on how you would advise? What would be your advice to young entrepreneurs who want to launch and they're not really willing or a bit scared of starting and they don't have the clients yet, etc. They feel a bit anxious. What would be your first advice for them?
I think first it's very important to embrace the fear, because you have to understand the fear actually is a very natural start of starting something new. Instead of letting it, you know, hold your heart back, acknowledge and embrace it. You know, be it you start a business or start a new hobby, always there is kind of fear, but also, you know, embrace it as a sign that you are actually stepping outside of your comfort zone and you are keep growing yourself. I think this is the first thing I would recommend. The second is also understanding that the entrepreneurship is a journey really full of ups and downs. To be honest, I have a very small heart before, but you know, since my business keep growing, I have a bigger and bigger heart, because I need a lot of capacity to, you know, welcome different kind of surprises or shocks. But because I like, you know, more vibrant, you know, life journey. So even I have setback, I treat it as a lesson to learn, or even a door shut, I believe another door will open. So you really have a mindset to, you know, a strong adaptability, that you're willing to pivot and, you know, adjust and also learn from this uh challenge and setbacks. Being flexible, I think that is highly important, right? You know, and also, you know, during your entrepreneurship, I would say that a lot of people, especially at the start, a lot of people may throw rocks to you and say that, oh, I'm not sure if it works, and anything, you know. Those people usually, they are still full-time employees, to be honest, you know. So
They will not take the risk.
believe in yourself. And also I will say that focus on the why, right? Even you start it, maybe for me, even in the first few years, I have a lot of questions. Should I go back to full-time? To be honest, the third year I did think about going back to full-time, and I did really try to apply for the job, but and I did also even try to start off as a full-time employee again. And then after working for a few months in the third year, I go back to my role and I asked myself why I went back, you know. And I asked a lot of entrepreneurship. Actually, most of them, they had this thought suddenly coming in the first few years. It's normal, because as a full-time role, you have stable income, you have a guaranteed paycheck. But as an entrepreneur, sometimes your income will be very high, sometimes will be low. But I think as long as what I said is you do good preparation, do good financial planning, usually you'll be safe. And also make planning with, you know, more detailed planning as well before you start, rushing on something. And focus on the why is because sometimes when you have setback, you need to clarify your purpose, right? And reason why you want to start the business. And having a strong sense of purpose and passion will, I believe, will help you definitely drive much forward, especially during difficult times. And also try to start small, because I also meet some entrepreneur friends who want to be entrepreneurs, they will think about, oh, I'm going to open a shop, I'm going to buy this and that and that. They really invest a lot, but they didn't even try to test the market of their product yet. But they already thinking about how to decorate the shop and everything. So I would highly recommend to start small, especially if you are still full-time. You have a lot of room to, now, everything is online. You can start an e-commerce, try to do some small business to see how it works first before you came out on your own. So you have a better safety net. Yeah.
And going big. Would you have an advice on actually what helped you the most in your business to grow and get more clients? What has helped you the best? Like, what's this marketing thing that you did which developed your business quite well? Is it recommendations? Like, is it social media? Is there something that helps you more than anything else?
To be honest, I always believe services, marketing agency, they usually serve very similar services. But how our company stand out of the others is, I think, relationship management is highly important. I think what our clients value us most is we are very empathetic in a way that we really look, always have one step ahead to think about what client wants before they can even tell it. Always try to search about the hidden desire of the clients. When you can do it, you demonstrate this empathy, then it also show that you care about them, and then this will much easier to build trust and also establish a stronger foundation for a positive client relationship. Because when it comes to agency, right, company, they may change staff or whatever, but the client, if they work well with you, no matter where they move to, they will always follow you. So I think for my company, I would say that our retention rate is pretty high. Usually our clients have 3 to 4 years retention.
That's great.
We don't have like 30 clients because we focus on the niche market. We focus on the good clients, but we focus on a long relationship. Yeah.
Great.
So this is, I think, I would say that being genuine, foster a genuine connection, because sometimes I meet some entrepreneur when they deal with clients, it's really like a buyer and seller relationship. The client can easily feel it, So imagine you stand in the shoes of your client, how they want to perceive your service, then I think this is a good way to think about it. Yeah.
Yvonne, can you tell us a little bit about your most exciting time as an entrepreneur? I actually remember, I think it was in 2014 that you actually set up the first restaurant of Jamie Oliver in Hong Kong. I remember it was like such a big thing for you because you were like still a very young company and still managing this huge legend of the food, of culinary. So I don't know if this is one of your best souvenirs or if you have something else to tell us, but would be nice to listen to a nice story that happened to you.
Yeah, I think Jamie Oliver is definitely a good story because actually Jamie Oliver has been my idol for a long time before I start my own business. One thing I missed to tell is I did actually apply for Jamie Oliver UK company back then. But they didn't. They declined my resume because I'm from Hong Kong. They said that they are more focused on British employee. And then I was quite determined, right? Because I really, really want to work at Jamie Oliver company. So the next year, I saw the news and they said, oh, Jamie Oliver is going to open a Singapore branch. So I emailed to the Jamie Oliver Singapore branch investor. I used LinkedIn to search him and I said that, I heard that you are going to open the Singapore branch for Jamie Oliver next year. I know I'm working for Subway and I have all this experience. Are you interested in my profile? He didn't reply me, but they said they will consider at least no news. At last, no news. So, but this investor is same as the next year, Hong Kong was going to open a branch. And actually, the same investor is also investing in the Hong Kong branch. They asked me, oh, we have a role for the marketing director. Are you interested? But honestly, at that time, I already started my company 80/20 for a year, and I have clients in my hand. I was very reluctant, and then I counter propose. I'm also being creative and counter propose. I said that I don't think you can find a person like my experience and abilities. And actually, I already started my own company. How about this? I work as I can you can become my client, and we work on a retainer project, and then I come to your office maybe twice a day and help you build a team. He was thinking for a few weeks, and then I think that he also asked recommendations from some of his friends in Hong Kong F&B industry, and maybe he heard something good about me and finally say yes. So from my first time applying for a job in Jimmy Oliver UK to this Hong Kong client as a Hong Kong client, it takes, I think, for 4 to 5 years. But it was a really dream come true to me, because when
definitely.
to Hong Kong, I was leading his tour. I said that I never imagined that you are standing in front of me. So what I want to tell about the story is really, I think when you interview most of the entrepreneur, they always talk about passion, because passion actually is really like fire, always drive you to move forward no matter what hurdles you have. So sometimes you just need to be patient to wait for the right timing comes. Yeah,
absolutely. It's a dream come true. So glad you live this for real. Tell us just for a little word before we finish. If you have some book to advise to our audience, or is there anything that you would like to share, a little tip or someone you admire, or a book, whatever it is, what would it be?
I think recently I read a book. It's called Dear Founder. So Dear Founder is a book I highly recommend to any startup entrepreneurs, or entrepreneurs who are already having a journey for a few years, or even have a big company, because this book basically written by Maya Webb, who was the COO of eBay before, and who is also the angel investor of a lot of big tech startup in USA now. So this book actually, they combine a lot of letters of advice for anyone who leads, manages, or wants to start a business. It is an excellent reference manual as you encounter different kind of challenge at different stage as an entrepreneur. I was buying this book because I was looking for expansion to China, right? And I have a lot of questions on my mind, and different chapter talking about different stage. And I was going to the expansion stage. I would say that this book solved, I would say, at least 60 to 70% of the questions on my mind.
Really?
And I would highly recommend. And each letter also conveying some practical wisdom. It's not just practical advice, but also some wisdom that you feel like you have gained from the book. So I would highly recommend this book to your audience.
So great to hear that. Thank you for this tip. Just a little thing. What should we wish you for the future?
Wish me, I think, being a better people executive, because sometimes because I'm a sole entrepreneur, sometimes I'm all around, all over the place, dealing with finance, dealing with work. Sometimes I feel like I'm not as good as dealing with my staff, especially it is growing bigger. I hope that I can harness better people skills, people management skills, to be a more all-rounded leaders. This is what I hope. And I believe every CEO or founder, they are not perfect, right? But I think that, you know, it's a ever learning process in the entrepreneurship, and always embrace, you know, things come no matter ups and downs. And I think at the end, you won't regret the journey.
So we wish you all the best, Yvonne. Thank you so much for being with us today, and we'll see you soon, I'm sure, everywhere in
Thank
the
you.
world, Western, Eastern side. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
thank you.